Good morning, everybody. Hold on. Give you your fancy opening. I know. 8:15. I know. I'm fully aware. Let me give you some good tunes. Get this party started. You know time. All right. And then put on the internet. And then we'll be good to go. Good morning. I know the music's on. I know. I'm doing my best, guys. Oh, that's not going to work. Hold on. Is that better? Do I need the lights on? Good. Are we good? We're good, right? Okay. We're good. We're good. Hold on one second. I'm trying not to laugh because I left one of my speakers on and I must have been talking to myself. And I think the community was making fun of me. You think that they would tell me, you think that they'd be like, hey, buddy, you left your speaker on as you talk to yourself. Instead, they just like mock me and make memes, giving me huge ears. You want to see what they do? Hold on. I'll show you what they do to me. Let me see if I can find it. I'll find this one. If I can't find it, I'll move on. I'm not going to be able to find it. I'll find it later. If I can find it real quick. I don't think we'll be able to find it. I'll try to find it. But find this damn thing. It doesn't matter. I'll find it. Anyway, let's get to it here and get started. Let's start with ES and get to it. So the biggest thing for me is going to be to close this, go from there. I do get your comments, and I should probably give you that other email for you guys that are trying to get in the community or have issues. I'm trying to get through all that. Everybody that's trying to get in, but you have to bear with me. This crushed. ISRG crushed, man. Like crushed. Like picture when you think of a crush and then think of that name. I don't like this. This is bothersome. I don't like any of this. There, it's much better. Let's get rid of this. Let's go to this and let's do it. So that's not going to do it. And if that's what's doing it, who cares? Let's go. 68 continues to be the issue. I would say the breadth on the big caps is definitely getting better. On the small caps, all that stuff's coming in hard. Netflix was a dumpster fire. I don't know if I'm not going to say it's all the cancellations of dumb stuff and all that stuff. I don't think it's got anything to do with that. But for me, let's see how this is all set up. For me, it's just definitely an issue. So it's definitely an issue, but I'm short it. So it is what it is. I'm staying short for now. I don't know, man. I don't seem to be able to get over it. And I don't think you want to just blow off that you can't get over it. I think that's a huge, huge mistake to do, to blow that off. I really do. I really don't think that's the right way to go about it. Let's go take a look at the 4 hour for a sec. So you never undercut it. You bounced here hard, like super hard. And since then, you've just been an absolute unequivocal monster to retest that level. But I can't get over it. And that's an issue. Now, earnings overall really good. And maybe it's the Mag 7 that pushes you next week. You are rotating out of a lot of stuff. And so maybe that's keeping it down too. It looks like a failed H, but I can't get over this. So the control bar stays the control bar, and that area stays that area until then. If we take a look and we equate that out to the SPY, it's pretty easy, to see where you're at. And I'll double check my levels for everybody. But I think my levels are like on point still. Yeah, you're still down here. You're still there, and all those levels are still valid. So I don't really see anything here that is, something that I really got to pay attention to. Now, I would definitely mark off this for Monday, where you just gapped up and that was it. I think that's a big deal. Let me just check one thing here because no, I'm good there. And I don't know why they want me to do that. What does that do? Oh, that's so weird. I don't know why I would do that. Why would I do that? I'm just checking this thing. What's that do? It doesn't really do anything. Okay. All right. So let's get rid of that. All right. So anyway, 675, 670, and then 660. So I don't see anything that different have to do that. You want to stay above that 6. You definitely want to stay above that 670. I don't think that this has changed either. I'm just trying to look and see if there's anything here that, because it's the same area over and over again that you're not able to get to. And I really think that's the issue. Like you're not getting over this level. You're constantly failing at it. The call wall keeps moving up. So you're at 615 yesterday. And so like you are getting a ton of room to go. So they're definitely moving you up, which is good. And that's staying there. So they're expecting this to go higher, or they wouldn't be doing this. They'd be moving it down, but they want exposure up here. They wouldn't be doing it. That's interesting. So they are leaning towards that's actually going to lift. So they're thinking the NASDAQ's going to lift more than the ES, or they would do it for both. But does that look like it's going to? I mean, it's really hard to look at this and try to figure out how we're going to get over when we haven't gotten over yet, right? Like that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what are we missing? If we're missing anything at all. So it seems like we open there, and then from there, we haven't been able to break that level. A matter of fact, everything's been in this bar, right? From 10 o'clock, that 4 hour from 10 to 2 bar, everything's been in there. So if we mark that off, does that tell us anything? Do we learn anything there? That's your range. So there's your range right there. I mean, if you had to say, like, where's your mini range? There it is. It's that bar. You have not been able to get through that. I think that's important. Give me a sec here. Let me see something. Yeah, let's just see if I have anything else out there. It's really telling me anything. Not really. What do I think super important? I think there's some really good stuff out there. Let's go through it this way. Netflix, I'll go through the headlines that I think are important, and then I'll take questions. Let me find if I can get a cool banner going for you here. And let's go this way. And so Netflix, bad earnings, good VRT, GEV. Who else was like ISRG? Good. They were both good. ISRG is in a category by themselves. You know who else had really good earnings that no one's talking about is WAL. All this crap where we were worried about that. ISG was a blowout. Earnings. So I think we should look at it that way. Put that at the bottom. I really think that you're going to get to that 1100 level today. I really do, which bothers me because I sold a bunch of puts there. So I'm short now. I'm net short the stock. I did it at like 60s after that conference call. I was like, maybe that conference call will get better. It didn't. So that was a disaster. VRT was really, really, really good. I'm very concerned in this kind of market about just buying like this. What I would say is they made it super easy here, because if I get above that after the test, fail, test, tighter, tighter, like you're getting tighter in there, right? You all can see that. So that's definitely something that you'd want to pay attention to here. Right? So I might mark that off. And if I went and looked at this on a vol scale, I would have thought it'd be greater than that. Let's go to this for a minute. What am I really dealing with there? How great is that? It's much greater than it looks. All right, cool. So yeah, I wouldn't sleep on that one. There might be something to that. Let's take a look at GEV too. GEV as well. So $6.10 seems to be the issue. I'm not sure it's going to be an issue. They both crushed. They were both excellent. Let's clean that up. Get to it. So I would watch those names. What else would I go over? ISRG. The thing with ISRG is that it's up a lot. So the question really becomes, like, what do you do with it? I don't really have the answer to that here now. Like, what do you do? You know, I mean, it's hard to chase that, man. It's really hard to chase that. So 500 is a big mental level for it. I think if you come across and realize that 575, I'd want to know if I flip it, because if I do, you might really go. But I really want to see if I come down to, can I put any kind of alert there on this thing? Not really, right? So I got to drop a line there to do it. That's kind of annoying, mildly annoying, isn't it? Because I'll be in the throes of trading when this happens. So I think that they're your really big levels. Like, you'd want to watch those levels and make sure that you get, through those. What are you going to miss? Like, what is the stuff that you're not paying attention to that I could add value on? All right, so let's go with this. This is definitely something I could add value on. So this company got bought for cash. We own this company. They got bought for cash. Here's the thing about it. It's $18.50, but there's $1.50 if they meet a hurdle. They're going to meet the hurdle, I think, or they wouldn't have bought the company. So for me, it's like them still having skin in the game, but $1.50 on an $18.50 stock's no joke. So if it comes in a year, you get $1.50. If not, you get taken out at $18.50. No harm, no foul. I do these trades a lot because I think they make a lot of sense. So I'm in this, and the buyout happened, and I'm still not doing anything with it. Matter of fact, I'm leaning towards on dips buying more of it if people are dumb enough to get out of it. So, we'll see how that goes, but I'd like to do that. Yeah, I'd like to buy more of this, not less. So that's definitely one that I will be paying attention to today. Usually I just do it like every 50 cents down and just keep buying more and more and more of it. And I'll just sit with it until it gets bought, if they're dumb enough to keep puking it. What else is interesting that I don't think people are paying attention to? This WBD just turned down $24 cash to be bought, and now Oracle, well, actually it's PSky, is talking about going, they're talking about going completely, what do you call it here? Let me just drop that at 15, put a marker there. They're talking about going completely hostile and going around them and going directly to the board. And I think that's super interesting. But the fact that this thing's not trading at $24, it's just like, it doesn't make any sense to me, because you're going to at least get $24 for it. Like, people aren't going to walk away from that. And now you're going to have Comcast come in, Amazon, Netflix. They're all going to bid for it, for pieces of it. So I think there's value there. I would keep looking at these names that had great moves and just watch how they consolidate, see if they start breaking out. Watch 200 on PRAX. What else are you crazy kids not paying attention to? GSIT did this huge secondary at $10. It probably stops at that secondary. And you might just want to watch that $10 and just watch how that acts there. Trying to think what else that I could add value with. Let's stop there. Gold's a pig. It's going lower. Quantum's an absolute pig. Probably just put that down here so that you guys know that going forward. Gold is a pig. Quantum is a pig. So I wouldn't touch that stuff. I'm short all that stuff. I'm killing it on those shorts. Killing it. Saw cup and handle. MMM. A couple people reached out about MMM. I don't know. I don't usually do very well buying industrial names when they start trading like Momo names. I usually wind up getting my butt handed to me. Like, I'll buy it in here and go, oh, everything's great. And then it'll be like a year later and I'll still be in the damn thing and I've made like $4. So I tend to avoid them. It's not my kind of trade. I think if you bought it yesterday, you slaughtered it, and maybe you would use that as your base and see how it moves up. I'm not saying it's not going to work. It's very clear that that's a lot of buying for this name. But, spoiler alert, we've been here before and we've seen how this goes, right? And, oh, we're breaking out. And then womp, womp. Oh, this is really going to go. Womp, womp. Like, I'm not knocking it. And it makes perfect sense too, because the dollar's going flat. But yeah, it's just not for me. I'm not saying it's not going to work. Halliburton, I see it. Does this go because of the earnings? If that's going to go, then Schlumberger should have gone too. Do I really want to be in that space, like the oil service space? Like, why? Like, why? I'm not feeling it. Like, if I wanted to buy one of those names, I'd buy Oxy. And I'd buy Oxy because Buffett is going to buy Oxy and probably get annoyed and just take the damn thing private eventually, and just turn it into a cash cow. That's what eventually probably happens here. So if I was going to buy one of these, it would be the one to buy that like Buffett's actually underwater in, because he doesn't do that. He just eventually will take the company private. Right. So he's not going to lose money on the trade. He'll just take it private and fix it. So that's what I think anyway. But what do I know? Crazy how that works, isn't it? So I think Oxy's the way to look at that. If someone's like, gun to your head, which one? Just buy Oxy. Why? Because eventually he's going to just take the damn thing over. I forget what he filed. I think he filed to buy, he filed, I will own 50% of the company. So, and he buys for decades. So the GSAT we covered, what's up? So I think what you need to do with this stuff is just let it all burn, man. Just let it all burn and then pick up the pieces. This stuff's going to get trashed. And it's like yesterday, someone was asking me, oh, well, where do we start buying OKLO? And my response was, well, what do you want to pay for a company with zero revenues? Well, they're going to do this. Well, they're going to do that. Yeah, me too. And I'm not knocking them. They were fun to trade, but the party does end with the speculative excess. Like, it's got to come out. So just let it all burn, man. And then pick up the pieces. We went to Cash Thursday, like across the board. And I've only done that like 3 times in probably 4 years since we had the community. It's only been like 3.5, 4 years since we had that community. And the reason I'm saying this is when something like that happens, it's very rare for me to do that. But there's certain things that I'll see in the market, right, that like will connect. But I look at this stuff like, okay, well, that saved us from like 160 to 130. Like, where does this go? Well, you don't even know if you're going to get institutional support at 101 or 102 yet. Like, you have no idea where this stuff goes. So like, to stand in front of this and go, it's cheap. Well, why is it cheap? Because it was here. Well, it was, I would argue to anybody is to say, if you're buying here and you go back and look at mid-September, are you comfortable it gets back to there? And then people will say, well, it can't possibly. And I'll be like, okay, well, it was just there 6 weeks ago. And nothing's changed, nothing. So if anything, it's the exact opposite, because now I think hedge funds are looking at this and going, I'm locking in my quarter, the dollar is stabilizing, money inflows are going to come from Europe, and they're going to buy the big dogs. That's why the breadth of the market's getting better. So I just think you just let it all burn, man, and then step in front of them and then pick up the pieces. And there's going to be some huge buys, in my opinion, but you've got to let it all burn first. So again, let it all burn, man. The rare earths, I think what's going to happen there is you're going to get a deal. And then after you get this deal, they're going to like hug it out and like be bros. And then one of them's going to like lob a grenade and they're going to move again. So right now they're in like the bro hugging phase, where Z wants to go look like a statesman and Trump wants to go talk about how fantastic he is. So like, you have to think about it. They're going to come out with something. So rare earth, I think it's the US is like relies on them for 75% of the rare earth, and AI chips for China, they rely on like 95% for us. I know like every week Baba comes out and says like, we don't need NVIDIA anymore. We can do all this with a banana and a hamster. We're good. I'm just not buying it. So I think there's a deal done there, Julian. So where am I going with this? I think the rare earth stuff will collapse when those two like bro hug it out on TV, and then going through those pieces, like allow that to happen, and then going through those pieces and picking them up. I think that makes the most sense. So you're not even oversold yet. So for me, it's more like, and I would use MP as the guide. Let's see where you could get to. Let's see where's the market positioning themselves on this. So yeah, you just blew through some key levels, man. 70's got to hold, and if that doesn't hold, if 70 doesn't hold, 60 is going to happen like super fast. So yeah, I do think they're going to bro hug it out. Are there any like 2x, 3x ETFs on this thing? If there are, let me know, because I'm looking for more shorts on that kind of stuff. That stuff's all going to implode. And then you'd step in and pick up the pieces, because it's not going to go away. You know, Z's going to lob a grenade. Trump's going to do double secret tariffs. We're going to get more winning, more liberation. Just settle in. It's going to be like this at least until midterms. I hope that helps. I went over that one. I hope that helps, Julian. I think you should think about it, Julian, from a thematic standpoint, not just a technical standpoint. Like what are the catalysts that are going to drive that, right? Because I think that's going to be a huge trade. Like, I don't know that you really want to short it in case it flares. Maybe you do. But I think you want to look at those names and go, after they bro hug it out, people are going to go, that's it. They bro hugged it out. Well, how's that been going? Like, we're just swimming in peace, right? So what's up? Serve, I've got like 3 of them in the closet, trying to take honest wages from people. In all seriousness, I wouldn't touch that. I think it's way, way done. I think toast is toast. What else you got here for me? I could be wrong there. Hold on. I thought this was toast. You might be washed out, bro. Say it. You might be getting washed out there. You held. Look. What do these guys do? Internets? Same exact pattern here. Same exact pattern here. 1222. Then after earnings, you got the cross. You had a declining 55. 1222 down. Then you got the cross, and you have a declining 55. You might want to wait for earnings, but that's there. $12.22 cross, decline, earnings. $12.22 cross, decline, earnings. All right, that's the trade. It's there, over and over and over again. I don't know. You either play it into earnings or you play it after earnings. But you do look washed out. You do look like you held this level pretty well. And that's the gap. So you gap filled. See it? Down, rallies, retest the gap fill, undercuts, steals from everybody. That's where you get your washed out 4-hour RSI. Inside bar, pop goes the weasel goes pop. And then look, sometimes it's good to like do the open, high, low, close, because then you can just say it clearly. Flags, retest that breakout, and then pops. Yeah, man. I mean, that could work going into it. I don't know what they do. Someone told me before. It's not one that's on my radar, but yeah, there could be something there, Kev. Sophie, I think, makes a lot of sense. I really think that Sophie did exceptionally well with everything going on. If you look at it, you have this control bar, but you're going to pop over this. This is just a matter of time. I don't know if you want to buy it into earnings, because I don't know how great this has to be to justify this. versus where we were. It is incredible to me where this moved, but this company is so well run. It's crazy how well run they are. People think of them as a regional, but I don't think people understand everything that they really do. So I think there's a lot more. I think there's a lot more to it. Yeah, that ISRG crushed, bro. Like crushed, Jacob. I don't know the story. I know this one keeps getting thrown out there over and over again. It's way up there for me to really want to get involved with it. So I don't know. Unless they invented air or something, it's probably something that I would pass on just because I missed it. Like this is where I'd have to get in for it to make sense, because you could continually pull back here and I'd get hammered, you know? Well, you had that secondary. What's up, buddy? Now, yeah, I do think that you saw this yesterday, right? And I think a lot of that has to do with this. So as long as you're under 4%, I think the home builders are going to go higher. I think ITB is going to go higher. I think once you broke, and you can see the DTL on this stuff too, and you tie it in here, right? Okay. Once you broke, the TNX broke 4%, all bets were off. You're getting really, really like inflation's about to crater. This whole market's setting up that way, that like inflation's about to absolutely crater here. So that could work. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I do think that the Tesla is going to be super interesting today and tonight. You never know what you're going to get with him, man. You know, it's just how great of a story he wants to tell, or does he want to tank the stock because his deal's coming up? So you don't know. Like, you really don't know. It's not like he hasn't done it in the past where he's tanked it on purpose or like hyperbole on purpose. So I think it's the rates dropping. Yeah, Sam, just email him now and let me know, and then I'll reach out to him. Yeah, I think that there's some issues there. And I think it's the price point too. I think there's too many things going on there. Just email him now so that I can say it, Sam. An invite link. Yeah. Fun. Let me do that now while I'm thinking about it. And then I should probably change that really quickly and get that done. What time is it here? I got to jump at 9, guys. So, yeah, Sam, email him. I don't trust that. Bro, that's just ridiculous. We created a browser. Use it. Okay, bro. Like, and then not for nothing. And I do use Chat GPT, but if you were going to use one, I've got guys in the community that are like really good with them internets. The one guy gave me that is just really cool. Comet's really cool if you play with it. I can see why people would like, oh, I can get used to Comet, but the problem that Google really is going to have is search, because once you get used to Chat GPT and using that, you don't have to deal with any of the garbage anymore. You're not clicking on the wrong links. You're not getting the wrong search thing. You know, what's up, Steven? bro, we all make mistakes. Just move on. Nothing you can do about it. QBTS is a pig. I'm not touching those names. I see it and I get it. And I know people that are like, oh, I'm in, it's doing this, it's doing that. I'm not knocking them. And 100%, it's doing everything it needs to do. I'm not touching them. I would say this: earnings, 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 and like you're not breaking anymore. So I do think you're at some kind of trough valuation for it. I do. And that could be great. I don't know. I'm not feeling this trade. And usually when I feel that way and I avoid them, I'm okay with it. The one that makes the most sense to me out of all of them that like looks like it's going to rip everyone's face off, the way that this can't break, like you had this news, right, on Crowd. You had that news on Crowd, and it was really good news. And the new word is to say agentic AI over and over again, right? So you had that news, it collapses, and then it has that news, and then it collapses again and again and again. And I said this when this happened. And this is why I always, people are like, why do you use the close? And why don't you use just get out when it hits there? That's why I said when this happened on this day, like, man, you're encapsulating weeks of data here, like weeks. It was almost a full month. Like, that's it. This is the bottom. And it was the bottom. I would, you undercut it, but you never close below that. And then you just slowly grind it up. And then you got more news. This is super interesting to me. And then if you look over here, you just keep rejecting the 1450, right? But for how long, man? How long are you going to reject that for? Oh my God. I did shoulders today. Freaking killing me. But if you look at that, how long are you going to reject that? Does that fit in there too? No, it cuts through it like a knife. Cuts like a knife. Where Earth we did, Jay. BBVA. I don't know, man. I'm not feeling that. I'm not knocking it. I'm just not feeling this kind of stuff in Argentina. I'm telling you, they are trying to prop up, like, to me, they are trying to prop it up so bad. It's like they're like literally weekend at Bernie's it, like over and over again. No, we're giving the money, please vote for this guy's administration. And, people were like, everyone was into it. And then all of a sudden, like when you really realize that, like with his sister and some of the other stuff, people are like, yeah, bro, you're not really doing what you said you were going to do. And then he put the Interior Ministry back. So now those supporters are like, what are you doing? I don't know. I read this whole thing on Argentina the other night. It was absolutely fascinating how like these three families, it's like our California, how like three families have been in charge or had governors of California for the past 50 years. Like there's like three families that have been in charge of California, right? Like that's Argentina. Like it's crazy. Like the people that were in charge, then she becomes the vice president. Like it's a whole thing. They are really trying to weaken the Bernie's this thing, man. And you're going into the election. And I think it's next week is the election. And yeah, I'm leaning towards it's going to be like a mess, a real big mess. I think they were smart I think the US was smart in propping up their currency because of the amount of rare materials that are there and that we don't really want China to like do it. So I get why we did it because China was going to do it if we didn't. Like I get that. But they are really trying to the U.S. is really trying to sell this like, oh, it's going to be great. And he's going to have a blowout election. I don't think so, man. I don't think so at all. I think that here's what I think does it, bro. I think CPI is going to implode on Friday. Yeah, it's been an absolute monster. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I don't know that I want to do it here. Hope things are good, Matt. I haven't seen you for a while. What's ripping in my account? Something just decided to rip. WBD's over 21. That's just going to keep grinding, I think. I'd like to see vol, brother. I mean, there it is. Like, there's your stop, but I'd like to see volume. RGTZ, I'm in this. I'm also short stock. I also sold calls. I also have shorted this. I mean, this is just such a gift, such a gift. So, I think I own this at 11 and change. Hold on one second. I'll tell you. Let me pull up that account. 11.10. I'm in there. So, I haven't done anything with it. I mean, eventually I'm going to have to get out of this and just leave this short on. But yeah, I think you're just beginning. I mean, I expect this thing to go back to 35, 40 bucks. So, you know, I made a joke the other day that, like, you know, I probably paid more in margin interest than these guys making a quarter. So yeah. And the CEO sold every share he had, right? But I guess people are going to still buy it. So GEV was really good. GEV, it was really a good, very good quarter, Julian. MP, USR. Yeah, I would just stay out of the way. I don't know that you have enough vol to do that. You know what I mean? Is it worth it? Did they have good earnings? That's good to know. Did they? Were they good? Wow. Wow. I didn't have that on my list. I wasn't looking at that. Thank you. Yeah, wake me at 700. That was on the list I wanted to watch today too. Thank you. I'd be so careful of that, dude. It's not a stimulation though. People think it's that they injected stimulus. They didn't. All they did was back the bonds in dollars. It's very, very different than giving them money. It's like people think that we gave Ukraine money. Like, all we did was lend them money to put them in debt. I'm not going to get into it all, but like, you have to look at the terms. All they did was convert it to a dollar, right? And if their peso drops, then we have a problem, but they can hedge that out. I'd be real careful to that election, man. Like, super careful. Pega, you have nothing but blue skies. It's funny, dude. They work. These work. I wear the red ones at night too. I mean, when I wear those red ones at night, because I stare at a computer, I look at charts literally till I fall asleep. Like, I'll wear the red ones. I will wake up, man. I'm out like a light. I'm out. I sold it. 70, we'll see. I mean, we'll see with Amazon. I thought it should rally. I'm not. I'm short that specific name. Yeah, I've played with Perplexity. A couple things were wrong. I didn't like that. Oh, dude, it's a mess. I have friends that love it down there. A couple guys moved there. What's up, brother? Defense sector makes so much sense. Drones make so much sense. I don't get that, like, that pullback in that. Like, I really don't get the pullback in these names. I mean, I get it because people are like, I'm going to take my profit. But if someone was like, well, what are the names that make the most sense to me that can hold? It's the drones. Yeah. Like, there are the names that I look at and go, you know, like, I would get back into, but I don't feel the need. I got to do it right now. I got to jump, guys. Trade to win today. Make good choices.